For what it's worth, I want to take a few moments to thank some people who I think either don't get enough credit or get far too much criticism, despite the excellent job they're doing in the face of much adversity. The first of these would be Owen Jones, a journalist in the UK who, more than most others, more than many others, has been highlighting the true depravity that's been going on in the Gaza Strip since Israel began its brutal campaign of collective punishment. Owen Jones gets a lot of criticism, and a lot of it is frankly homophobic. He's a gay man. He's been attacked for this in the past. People criticize him for having made mistakes in the past, like piling in on Jeremy Corbyn in the Labour anti-Semitism row. I don't think Owen Jones piled in on him, but you get what I mean. He was seen by many to be on the wrong side. But on Gaza, Palestine, Israel, he's certainly been on the right side. So he's the first person. The second person I'd like to thank would be Greta Thunberg, who's been effectively sounding the alarm about the climate crisis for many years now. And like Owen Jones, has received much vitriol, a lot of personal attacks from people based on her being autistic, being a young woman, speaking the truth. You know, if most climate scientists say we got a problem, and if climate records are falling left, right and centre, we're having increased incidents of flooding, forest fires, etc., then, you know, something is amiss. And she's been trying to sound the alarm in the face of a lot of ugly commentary, most of it from the right, about an issue, the climate, the environment, that shouldn't be politicised, but the right have felt the need to do so, to make it political. The third person I'd like to thank is, well, group, doctors, nurses, teachers, people back home in the UK, people everywhere frankly, who don't get paid enough for what they do. Doctors and nurses, of course, who performed heroically, and other medical staff and auxiliary staff who worked miracles during COVID and didn't get the pay or the recognition, apart from a few people clapping and banging pans for a couple of weeks or whatever it was. But they don't get the recognition they deserve. And a lot of these people are from other countries and do this in the face of an increasingly xenophobic, right-wing, anti-migration rhetoric that's going on in the UK. So big up to those people. Big up to teachers. I've tried teaching English here in Thailand, teaching English as a foreign language to young people, mostly young people, and it's a thankless task. I don't have the patience for it. I don't do it anymore. I'm unemployed. I've got some health issues which didn't help, but I certainly didn't have the patience to do that, and I thank anyone who has the patience to teach, work in our National Health Service, or do any sort of public facing job where you get a lot of abuse and grief from people, as well as obviously a feeling of helping people, but you get a lot of grief from people. So I thank those people. Who else do I want to thank for what it's worth? Because I'm just a bald guy standing in a hot room in Bangkok talking to 3 people. But I will thank people that I think deserve that for what it's worth. I'd like to thank my mother and all the other single women raising children by themselves. It wasn't easy for my mum when me and my brother, who's 6 years older, were rolling on the ground, fighting, punching each other, kicking, shouting, generally being scary, you know, because we were still doing this at quite an advanced age. And my mother, bless her, raised us without my father. Both my mother and father have gone now. I'd like to thank both of them, despite any shortcomings either of them have, and we all do have shortcomings, and I probably have more shortcomings than either my mother or my father, so I'd like to thank them. But especially I'd like to thank my mother and all other single women that raise young children. Closing in on 5 minutes. As I alluded to earlier, I don't think any more than 3 people will watch these videos, or this video rather, well, these videos, any of my videos. So cheers if you watched this far. I want to thank you for watching, and thank you for any good that you do. Oh, let's face it, the world needs more positivity, doesn't it, right now? Let's hope that what's happening in Gaza ends soon, and what's happening in other war zones such as Myanmar, Sudan, you know, all the war zones in the world. I've been harping about Israel, Gaza, Palestine because my government supports that. And people will say, you didn't talk about the other atrocities going on. I, by and large, didn't. I was really concerned with the whole environmental thing and putting most of my effort into talking about that. But yeah, I and we, people generally, should acknowledge bad things going on everywhere. But I think especially when your own government, as in the case of the UK government, my government, and the US government, and Germany and other countries, when they're supporting, either in terms of arming or giving diplomatic support, a place like Israel carrying out the sort of atrocities that Israel is carrying out, when your government's doing that, I feel like you have an extra duty above and beyond to speak out against that. Anyway, 6 minutes now. I'm fading because I don't have a fan on. I turned it off so this video would be less noisy. I'm fading now. Even at 6 PM here in Bangkok, it's damn hot. It's our hot season, so thank you. Free Palestine. And can the world get a bit better, please?